Hi everyone, my name is Rose and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I would like to talk to you about surrendering to God. How do you surrender and leave everything in God's hands? I think that's something that I've struggled with, and also something I've struggled with in the past. And I believe that's something that, a lot of people struggle with. How can you want something so badly, and yet God wants you to leave it in His hands? So, how do you go about that? So, the first thing is to pray genuinely about your desire, whatever you desire. Pray earnestly about it. Be open about it. Be very open about how you feel. Um, don't withhold your feelings. Sometimes we just want to be very presentable to God and just say all the nice things and address Him right. You can be raw and honest and be like, God, I feel really, really hurt. You can cry to Him. You can be sad about it. You can be frustrated and be, God, I am mad about this, and talk to Him like you would a friend and be very honest about whatever issue you have. And once you pray and feel that you could pray no more, now leave it in God's hands. Leave it to Him to solve your issue however He sees fit. Sometimes we think that He will solve it in a specific way, and that is not how He works. He will work in ways that we have no idea, ways that we didn't even see. Sometimes we just see the bend of the road. We don't see beyond the bends and many bends, but He sees the whole picture, and He knows the plans, His plans for you, and how He's going to do things. So you have to be confident in leaving it in God's plan. And then, so what do you do when you're leaving it in His hands? You are not supposed to be thinking about it all the time, even though that is what is challenging. You want to think about your problems all the time. I have some friends who are waiting for marriage, and that is the thing that's on their mind forever, all the time, every day, all day, every day. It's, my God, I'm waiting for marriage, waiting for marriage. And they're praying and they're fasting and praying and praying. And then you're thinking about it all day. The idea is to pray honestly to God, leave it in His hands, and then shift your focus. Where your focus is, there your energy lies. If you're just focused on what is not happening in your life, then all your energy will be expended there. So shift your focus. In this current season that you're waiting for whatever you're waiting, what do you have on your plate? If, let's say, you're waiting for marriage, you have a lot of time. What can you do in that time? Can you help people in one way or another, in a way that you can't do once you get married and you're starting a family and you're so busy? In what ways can you serve people right now? What skills can you use to serve people right now? You have a lot of time. Maybe you could volunteer. Maybe you could learn a new skill. Maybe you could start a new business that helps people do something. I don't know. But shift your focus. Where when you're waiting for that, there are other things that you can appreciate in your life. At the moment, what can you appreciate? Can you look another direction and see other beautiful things that you can do in your time, in your free time? Um, the last point that I would tell you is to be okay with whatever you're praying for not happening. I know that sounds strange, and it's, geez, why would you say that? Yes, this is something I desire so much. I desire to get married so much. I desire a child so much. I desire for this career, this job, this whatever this is. What if that might not happen? What will you do if it doesn't happen? Will your life end because that will not happen? It should not that should not be the case. You still have a life worth living regardless of whatever doesn't happen, and maybe even it's not meant to happen. So what can you do if you feel that you're waiting and waiting, and your prayer is not being answered? Don't be fixated on it. Shift your focus and then be okay with it not happening. Appreciate what you have. What blessings do you have in your life right now? Acknowledge those blessings. And it reminds me of a quote I read by Beverly Crawford. If the Lord never does anything else for me, He's done enough. The relationship that you have with God, is that enough in your life? Whatever He's done for you so far in life, is that enough for you? What if He never does anything more? Would you be content with that? And you ought to be, because your relationship with God is the most substantial thing. And sometimes we desire these things. You desire to want to get married, you desire kids, you desire a lot of money, you desire, a high flying career, you desire big things, and then they don't happen. Does that mean you're not worth it? Does that mean that God is still not God? No, God is still God. And all these things don't define you and don't define God. God is still God regardless of what happens or what does not happen. And it takes me back to the story of Abraham in the Bible. And he and Sarah had waited for a child for a long time, you remember, and God had promised them a child. And then one time God decides to test Abraham, and as he's testing, he tells him to go sacrifice his son Isaac. I believe this would be a very, very difficult thing to do, because one, they had always wanted a son. Abraham was worried, who's going to inherit my property, and Sarah as well was worried. She didn't want the other boy, Ishmael, inheriting their property and their what is it called, descendants, or their legacy. They were worried for that, and they desired their own child. And God had promised Abraham many descendants and a long lasting, legacy. It wasn't happening, and they waited for long, and then it happened. After it's happened, God is asking him to go sacrifice his son Isaac. And it's a difficult thing to do, and he went, and he was almost sacrificing his son Isaac. And it's at that point, right before he goes to sacrifice his son, God says, I see you, and here is a lamb that you can sacrifice instead of your son. But God was testing his obedience and seeing where is his heart. Is it attached to the things that he was wanting, the very thing that he had desired so much? And it's at that point of surrender, of obedience, and just saying, you know what, God, you can have it. If you don't give it to me, it's okay. We're still here. I believe even if it happened, Abraham would still have that relationship with God. And that is what God desires of you, that relationship, regardless of what He's giving you or not giving you. Will you at that point say, you know what, God, I might not get married, but I will still be here with you. You are still God in my life, and I will still appreciate life. Life is still worth living. God, you might not give me the big job that I desire, but you're still God in my life, and we'll still work together, and you're the living God. So it's at that point when you surrender that He actually comes through, that He sees, oh, my child, you value this. It's like giving your child, it's like asking your child to share with you a toy that they really like, and it's worn down and they've played with it for so long. You have a bigger one for them, and you're just testing them to see, are their little hearts kind to share with you? And then they give you, yeah, here you go, you can have it. And you're so touched, and because of that, you even want to reward them with bigger and better. It's at that point that you surrender, that God gives you all of that. And even if He doesn't, He is still God. He wants you to know that you value and cherish that. So, yeah, what is the posture of your heart? Will you be so fixated of, oh my God, I want more money, I want a husband, I want the children, I want all of that? No, focus on God, the relationship that you have with God. Enjoy what you have right now. Make use of what you have. Shift your focus. Spend your energy in other things, helping other people, building yourself, and believing. Pray genuinely. Leave it to God. And yeah, that's it. I hope you feel encouraged. All right, bye bye now.